What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Real Moves Podcast. I am Jonathan Gonzalez here with...
I'm Jeff Luna.
And today we have a very, very special guest. This guy is a developer in the game for a very long time. Started from the bottom, now he's here. Got to know him several years ago, and we are here with Mr. Nick Wing. Nick, welcome.
What's up, brother? Thanks for having me.
Wingman.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. I know what this guy wants to say.
Right on, man.
So, yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited to have you here, man. I mean, for people who don't know you, tell the camera, let them know what's up. What do you do? Where are you from?
Okay, so as of now, what I do is I'll say one. I'm going to go in order of my favorite business that we have. So my favorite business is development, right? So we're building, right now we're building from single family houses up to 8 units. So we have a couple projects, mostly focusing on the city of LA. And then we have flips. So I like doing the flips. I like designing the houses. I like, picking out the color, all that fun stuff. That's the fun side of it. Finding deals, obviously, and then making money is the best part. And the reason why I like development is because you make the most, biggest chunks at a time, And then we own so that's our development company. And then I own a brokerage which does hard money loans. So we facilitate private capital for other investors that are like us. We take private capital from CPAs, restaurateurs, doctors, whoever, just guys that have generated wealth. We take their capital and lend it to other investors. So that's send private equity. So we'll take the money and broker out to other borrowers that are doing stuff like us. So that's the second business arm. Third business arm and fourth business arm basically are what the traditional real estate, the structure is. It's a real estate office with a mortgage firm attached.
Yes.
So that's Work Realty and Funding Vault. So we just launched Funding Vault a couple months ago. Before that, we were kind of putting our loans through other partners, a couple other funding partners, direct lenders. Now, I just said, screw it. When I got my NMLS after 10 years. And I never want to get my NMLS because of the hard money loan company, right? Because there's a certain amount of disclosures and whatnot and red tape. So ascend those under, my partner, Ken. Have you met Ken?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's under Ken's broker's license, so that we put Work Realty into my broker's license and Funding Vault under my license. So, we're able to separate because we don't want to have to do so many disclosures for a hard money loan. And if we had them under the same roof, we'd have to do a lot more disclosures, a lot more reporting to the NMLS and the the DRE for hard money loans, which that's super simple to disclose and keep separate. So we kept the two businesses apart. And so essentially we have, 4 branches that are development, brokering hard money loans, regular loans, and real estate. And we also hold rentals, so that's another business that we just consider the development side as
Sort of like property management a little bit.
Being a landlord. And we found, I'm going to give them a plug. Maybe he can, put my name in and get a discount code. I'll work that out with them later. But there's a company called Hemlane. A lot of property management companies probably hate Hemlane. But essentially, I feel like they kind of revolutionized the property management field, right?
Yeah.
So
You just hear some nightmare stories about some property management companies.
yeah. Maybe we should talk about that a little bit later, right? But Hemlane's pretty good. You kind of it's like a self-management, but it's a buffer between you and your tenant. They collect the payments for you. Mm-hmm. You kind of preset your utility people in there. So if at 2 a.m. your pipe bursts in your house, you're not calling me or Gabby to come fix it. You're calling Hemlane. Hemlane already has a list of people who we've chosen to go fix it. So they'll just call that person, go fix it, and then tell us in the morning, hey, your pipe's broke, you're fucked. Here's the bill for $2,000.
Yeah.
Whatever. So that's kind of how it works. This is a cussing podcast. I don't know.
It is, yeah.
No, sorry, I cuss.
So it sounds like you guys have,
but that's our base.
Everything in real estate, and you brought it kind of under one roof. Obviously, there's different businesses underneath that roof, but you guys kind of try to keep everything in house.
Yeah, vertically integrated. So it's like if I buy a flip, right? I'm facilitating the funds from Ascend, which is the broker of the hard money loans. I facilitate the money to Ascend, or from Ascend to Paradigm, which is the flip development company. And then when I go to list it, I list it with Work Realty. And
You're squeezing that lemon and making as much lemonade as possible.
yeah, I mean, what am I going to give? I just, if I'm going to be Kobe, I'm going to be Kobe. I don't trust anybody else to do the work better than I can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know that, to me, I'm the best listing agent there is in regards to knowing contracts and negotiations. And I've had other people list houses for me and whatnot. Now, if someone brings me a deal, I just pay them from the beginning and have them get out, because I've had agents, want the listing back, because I get it. There's marketing, there's marketing stuff that goes with it. But also, those agents aren't me. They're not good. And then you have a buffer between you and the buyer anyway. So it's like, why am I going to have the buyer's agent go to you to tell me something when I just
makes things messy.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, Jeff, we want a $15,000 discount. Let me talk to the seller. Then you come to me and you're like, I need a $15,000 discount. When I could just negotiate right there and be like, hey, you know what? Not 15,000, but maybe 5, or So it takes a little bit of the, there's a
middleman that's not needed.
Middleman's not needed. If it's a money thing, we'll just pay you, get out of the deal. If you brought me a good deal. Usually, obviously people bring this deal all the time. Yeah. So everyone feels like they're compensated well enough to get out of the deal, right?
Yeah. I think the big thing too with you is, development around LA. Everyone has their opinions about where the real estate market is going, but at the end of the day, we have a shortage of housing situation, right? Across the board. So when you take a property that's a duplex in LA, you turn it into like a fourplex or, 6 units. I mean, that's like, it's not only good for the city, but like, you're producing more housing for the people, right?
Well, yeah. So as the market shifts, we shift our business, right?
Yeah.
So if the market's going nuts, like it has the past 2 years for single families, guess what I'm buying? I'm trying to buy single families to flip to that market, right? If and this was like 2000, early 2000, this is like late 2018, early 2019.
Yeah.
The market was like kind of slow. It wasn't like jumping. Rates were like 4.5. They weren't bad. Well, compared to now, they're good. But to people, like, the rates had just been like in the 3s, and then they went up to 4.5. And so people were kind of like chilling in 2008, 2019. And so I was like, I don't want to buy single families and get stuck with them. I had a couple just normal listings that weren't like moving fast like they were before. So I decided to, we got introduced to our partners with, the ATP team, American T Properties, and they started telling us like, hey, well, you guys have capital. We got this, this formula for fourplexes, right? Like we're going to buy this property, get plans approved, and build ground up construction. Well, in my mind, if the single families aren't moving, if the market goes down, this is what people thought like 2018, 2019, because the market had been strong, like early 2018, 2017.
Yeah.
The market was strong. So everyone's like, oh, it's going to crash 2018, 2019, which it didn't crash. It just super slowed down. So I didn't want to get stuck with like a flip. So what we did was we re-strategized at that time, and we went to multifamilies, and we started doing ground up construction, right? And I never really liked doing ground up construction on single families, because if you build it, you never know where you're going to be at in the market like 16 months from now, or the property's done, right? But at least with rental units, you can rent them out. Yeah. And they're always rent. And our theory of that was proven when COVID happened. So market slowed down 2018, 19. We decided we're going to go fourplex. When I say we, it's me and Ken, So we decided that we're going to go fourplexes like crazy. So we bought like freaking 5 development properties, got the plans approved, started building, right? So we're 3 deep, like about to be done right when COVID hit, right?
Yeah.
So then we're just like, hell, like before COVID hit, we're like, okay, we're about to be done. We can either sell these things, make $500,000 each, or we're going to rent them out, refi them. Well, dude, like we finished one in like January, and then 2020, We finished one in February 2020 and like March 2020, right? And they're done. Stable occupancies could be rented out. So we put the one that was done in January on the market, and sure enough, it's like, boom, we got a buyer. So we put that one to escrow, and we closed that shit out right in like February or something, I think.
Yeah.
And so then
March is when it all came.
And so we crushed it, we're like, hell yeah, we made, a couple $100,000, whatever. That's fine. Well, then we're like, okay, we have the next two. Well, then boom, fucking
March.
fucking the buyers come.
Everything takes a shit.
Everything, yeah. And it's not only like the market, and it was just kind of like, okay, this is fine. Everyone else had their fucking mortgage payments frozen. You could forbear that shit.
Yeah.
Business loans, they were like, fuck you, like keep paying us. So, and then not only that, it said, so to buy fourplexes and multifamilies, dude, the financing fucking disappeared. It was like, gone. Like, hey, you want to lend on a fourplex? Like, we're not even doing, bank's not even open. Like, no one's even doing a loan. Like, what are you talking about? We're not giving you a loan. Like, we're not giving you a loan. Like,
Everyone's like indoors.
yeah, no one's even leaving their houses. So it's like, what do you mean we need a loan?
That was true.
The underwriter's not even, like, I remember, like, the first, 3 weeks, we had to stay indoors. And then when they made real estate essential, I was like, and I know even, like, Gabby was like, I'm fucking going crazy. Ken was like, I'm going crazy. Like, let's go back into the office. Let's just wear masks. Like, let's just, and I was like, yeah, okay, let's go. So, like, after a month, we were back in the office working,
That was a weird time.
And it was dope because the office buildings were empty.
Yeah, everything.
Traffic was empty.
Yeah.
The only ones on the street. But we had that, like, we had the okay to do it.
Yeah.
And we were safe about it. As long as we were out, like,
Right.
freaking, a couple times maybe went to the best. But anyways, yeah. So anyways, when those loans disappeared, that's when we were like, holy shit, what do we do? Like, what do we do? And even though, you got to remember, even though mortgages are gone, like, companies are lending are gone at that point, but people still conducting real estate.
Yeah.
So there's still people that have all cash, and there's still people that have 1031s.
Oh.
So there's people that were in the middle of a 1031 who were just like, damn, I need to buy something. So I put those two properties on the market to see if we can get anything. And no one was giving, we got a couple offers, but like, we would have made like $200,000, $150,000. And after like a year and a half of work, I was like, no, like, we want to make the 500 that we were going to make.
Yeah.
And so it's like, now let's hold it. Let's hold out. Let's see when loan programs are going to come back. Let's see when loan prices are coming, and so that's March, April, May, June. It's like still like kind of, people still are like iffy on, banks are still iffy on lending. We were even in escrow for 2 more fourplexes that we had to cancel because our banks were like, we're not funding those deals. Like, they were just like, we're not funding those deals. Like, I'm sorry. So I think one, we might have lost like $10,000 of the deposit.
Damn.
Because, it was a fourplex that we were going to buy and develop, and they had already moved out of the property. So like, for their moving costs, we just like had to give them some money.
Yeah.
But anyways, the banks disappeared. So then we're sitting here and I'm getting offers from and this is when like the cash guys came out and we're like, yo, we're going to get some deals, from guys that are under pressure. So they were, the pressure was on. Like, there was times where like I wasn't sleeping. Like, at night I was like, what the fuck do I do? Like, what do we do? Ken was like, we're texting each other like 2 a.m. like, you asleep, you wake, what do we do, bro? Like, like, seriously, dude, you have freaking hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line, bro. You're just like, what do we do? And so I was like, okay, well, at that time, our mortgages on the house were like $12,000 or something. It was hard money loans, you know? And so I was like, okay, let's do the math. Let's see what we can rent them out for. And I was like, we can rent them out for $12,000. We'll just pay the taxes and insurance. So we'll take a little bit of loss. We'll break even the mortgage. We'll pay the taxes and insurance. And that's what, like $20,000 total a year. We'll pay that $20,000 and hold on to them and see what happens, right? Well, it ended up being a good move for us because we were able to rent them out. We got them both performing, and then freaking end of 2020, freaking the government freaking boom, like drop rates to fucking 0. So then we're like, okay, let's refi at 3%. You know, so then we refied both of those at like then we got like a 3.5 or something on fourplex, which is, you'll never probably get that again. So then we refied that. So our taxes, insurance, and our payment came out to, I think our payments are about like 11 grand a month on those now, but we're getting about like 14 or 15 grand a month on each property now.
Nice.
So we're cash flowing probably like, I don't know the numbers, dude. Like, this is where I need the Hemlane login. But this is like, we're making about, I would say about 7 to 8 grand a month down those two properties that we just like sucked up and held on to.
Just fucking bled it out.
Yeah. And so now we've made that money back that we like risked, that like 20 grand per property on taxes and insurance. Like, we got them back,
Yeah.
So that was us changing our strategy to those. But of course, when the Feds dropped the rates to 0, now what took off at the end of 2020, dude? Like, single families freaking just went nuts. So we're sitting here just like, well, shit, the financing is gone for the fourplexes. Like, the hard money lenders aren't giving us construction loans right now for these things. Let's start chasing the single families. And so we just started chasing the single families, and we bought up a bunch of single families to start flipping, and those went nuts, So it was like, we bought a house, thought we were going to sell it. If we bought it for like 900. If we sold it for like 1.2, it was going to be a profit, and it sold for like 1.5, So it's like, boom, all cash, close in 10 days. So then we're like, okay, cool. We're going to keep buying single families. Well, freaking that slowed down.
Rates end up going up, and then what brings us to like,
we're holding some single families, but again, we buy smart, so it's not like a lot of these guys got toasted. So I know a couple of you guys, and I don't feel bad for you, but yeah, ride the pine for a little bit to stack that paper back up, because we bought smart, dude. Like, our properties have a lot of equity,
Right.
so
Some of these guys were buying, dude, with their margins are super slim.
razor thin.
dude,
Man, and they were just banking that was going to keep going.
Dude, I always say, like, dude, a fucking dead person could have flipped a house in the last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
You can just buy it, put paint and carpet, and boom, sell it for like $20,000, $30,000, $45,000 more.
Yeah.
$100,000 more, There's stories I heard of some of the guys I knew were just buying properties and cleaning them like nice, like cleaning them, like just taking all the furniture out, not even painting them. They're just freaking deep cleaning the house and selling it and making like 80 grand. And I was just like, well, that doesn't make sense, right? Like, that's not going to always happen. So, yeah, we got caught with, and it was scary. I'm not going to lie. This right now, we're seeing like the light at the end of the tunnel, but like probably the last 5 to 6 months, it's been like, okay, where are we going? Where are we going? And I think even 6 months ago, we were kind of predicting like end of second quarter 2023 rates will be at 5.5, and it's kind of trending towards that. It's kind of trending towards that. So
where do you see things going now?
A duplex, we can sell. So what do? We transition to rent that out. We rent it out and get it performing. We either refi it, or we can sell it now as a performing asset to somebody else that supports our cap rate.
How many renters did you get to inquire on that property?
I've had a lot, dude. We just recently had like a famous Australian rock band
really
get it. I mean, I won't say their name, but they hit us up. They want to come look at it. I don't know if I want to rent to them, because I don't know if we can tear it up, but like,
Still a couple of Raiders.
See, yeah, but I'm in the middle of, did I put that back on the market? Did I put that back on the market for, as a sale? I'm waiting till the 90 days is up,
Yeah.
So, the 90 days, right? Like,
90-day flip rule.
No. So if you put the listing up and you take it off the market and put it back on within 90 days, it's going to show continuous days on market, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you take it off for 90 days, it looks like it's a brand new listing, right?
Right.
So since it was being marketed last time, I've rented out the back unit for 500 square foot, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, rented it out for $3,250. So now that's showing promise for the front house.
Yeah.
So I should be able to get like $5 grand for the front house. So on this duplex, we're getting $8,000, and that's a cap rate of like 1.75, 1.8 in that market, where I had it listed at 1.7 before and it wasn't selling. So
That's the one by Dodger Stadium.
Dodger Stadium, Frogtown. Yeah. So that one now, once I get it performing, the cap rate's imported, and someone can come buy it and put it in their portfolio. Or if we can refi it with lower rates, it'll make sense to put it in our portfolio and just keep it for 3-4 years till that area is just busting.
Yeah. Right.
And then we'll just cut it loose.
You see that area trending that way?
Dude, yeah. I mean, so there's a La Colombe coffee.
Yeah.
There's it's the LA rivers right there, so people ride their bikes up and down the LA River. The city's trying to make the LA River like a Central Park. Like they're trying to make it like where you can kayak walkable and get all the homeless people from taking baths out of the water, So we'll see if they do that, and if they do that, then that's gonna be great for us.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're close to Silver Lake, we're close to Atwater Village, we're close to Highland Park.
Freeway is literally right there. You go
I'm right there. Daughter City is right there. Downtown's freaking 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
So it's just like that is like a super centralized location
Yeah,
for
it really
everybody.
is.
And with the migration, there's a migration going on in LA right now of all the movie and film industry people are moving from the west side to the northeast side because they're getting priced out themselves. That they used to be the biggest industry in LA, right?
Yeah.
Movie stars, writers, whoever, film producers. Now they're getting priced out by tech guys.
Yeah.
Now there's freaking Google, Snapchat, freaking YouTube. Apple has a campus, all Culver City, Silicon Beach, they call it, right? So all those people are buying Culver City like nuts, dude. 2-bedroom, 1-bath for like 1.9,
Yeah.
2 million. Stupid. Rents are freaking dumb over there. So those movie industry has gotten weaker now.
They took a shit because of Netflix and Hulu and streaming.
And yeah, so Sony's not as strong as they were. Paramount's not as strong as they were. So those companies aren't shooting the huge budgets like they were for fucking Mission Impossible 1.
Yeah.
Like Mission Impossible always be Mission Impossible, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was watching a movie with my mom the other day, like I forgot which movie it was, but I was like, they showed an explosion. It was like a 90s Western movie, and they showed an explosion, and like the whole town blew up, and I was like, see, that shit is real explosions.
Just sick
I was like, this blew a whole town up. I was like, that was not CGI. I was like, you know what's that cost?
Yeah.
Like, now they just do CGI, and it was cheap,
You know why they don't do that shit anymore, though? Is because Netflix and Hulu, right? So those streaming sites, they took away the revenue they used to make on DVD sales. They used to get their movie, the box office, and then the other half from DVDs. DVDs are fucking gone. So they got to cut back because all they're making really is the box office. The streaming layout is shit.
Yeah, and then box offices, it's like we even have the private streaming services, like the pirate ones. I'm pointing at fingers, my bad. but you can get those things now where it's like people ain't going to movies anymore. But so that trickling down to those buyers and those people that have money. The film industry always have money. Movie stars always have money. They get like endorsements through Snapchat, Instagram pays them. So there is money there still, right?
Yeah.
But not like the tech guys who are like, right, here's 500 grand, make AI for me. Like, like that's way more valuable because that's like globally, reachable rather than just a movie that just touches some reasons.
Scalable as fuck.
Here's 10 grand to go walk my dog.
Dude, that's nuts over there, dude. It's like crazy.
Yeah, the West Side's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see that they're coming this way because, I mean, this is where you do a lot of business. Highland Park, El Sereno.
So I don't want to focus on it because now we're getting people that have deep pockets moving to the northeast side where when I was a kid, I mean, I grew up in between Upland and LA.
Yeah.
Like northeast side. My dad lived in, it's funny because I drive by the houses every now and then. So we lived on San Pasqual and Highland Park for a while. We lived on Loxley and Silver Lake for a while, like kind of near Atwater Village. And then we lived in Atwater Village. But bro, like I'm not talking like nowadays. This is like when I was a little kid and I was 10 years old and like we're laying in bed and I hear like guys run to the backyard with like police helicopter over, you know, like just
the South Central today, like
all I say is just watch the Allen News, like episode of Gangland, which was, came out like 10 years ago, shows like what the avenues were. That's northeast, So it's cool to see like from that as a kid seeing where it's at now, and that's where I live now, and I want to contribute to it being nice, and it's getting there. But now I'm seeing like my neighbor across the street, he's in the movie industry, and our flip that we did, we flipped one house and sold it to a guy that was a cameraman in the movie industry, you know, and they sold their house in Highland Park to someone who was a writer, you know. So it's like I see it, we see it, and then because and this is another reason why we have this vertical integration where companies, right, is we're not just a hard money lender. We're not just seeing what's going on with hard money loans. We're like a real estate broker showing buyers and sellers in the market. So we're seeing like, hey, what buyers are moving to a region, what, you know, who's moving to what region, who's leaving, who's exiting their region. So that helps us analyze 200 flips, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's a big reason I like to have the vertical integration and kind of like each arm, because we can kind of see a whole market rather than just seeing one piece of it, right? So that's a big thing with us.
Yeah.
But
A lot going on.
yeah, but that's what we have, a good team. I mean, you know, obviously this fool's marrying one of so she's a solid, you know, so that's why, you know, so it's like, yeah, our business is based off like strong people, you know, and if they're not strong, we're gonna make them strong, you know, like,
Yeah.
it's like, and if you're not strong, you can leave, you know, like, and if you want to be strong, you know, we fuck around, we have a Kwame Brown joke. You know who that is?
Yeah, so the Lakers.
You don't know who Kwame Brown is?
I know. Come on.
That's just a joke around the office, so it's
It's like the Jamarcus Russell, man. Yeah.
exactly. So it's like,
That's a good way to
the
put
joke
it.
we always say is like, hey, like, you know, one night Kobe Bryant and Jamarcus Russell,
Kwame. Kwame.
Kobe Bryant and Kwame Brown combined for 83 points. You know, Kwame put up 2, Coach put up 81. So it's like, who do you want to beat, Kobe or Kwame, right?
So Nick, so I want to ask you. So I something you said a couple minutes ago. You were saying that obviously the market was really on the up and up. You know, interest rates were really low. Stuff was pretty easy. Anyone could flip a house, right? I think it was kind of the same thing for the agents too, because we saw like a ton of agents out of nowhere, just like, hey, I got my real estate license. Like, I remember seeing like at least 5 people I know all say like, hey, I'm in real estate, hit me up, you know, out of the blue, right? So like, what do you think? You're obviously a broker, you've been successful. What do you think about like new agents, like advice, right? That think that, hey, it was so easy the last 2 years, I'm just going to come in here and kill the game. What's a message that you can send to those people?
It goes back to my saying, bro. Do you want to be Kwame or do you want to be Kobe? Like, do you want to be Kwame or do you want to be Kobe? Like, do you want to put in the work or do you want to, like, just think that you're going to get rich quick? Because that's the problem of the last couple of years is a couple guys were able to get, like, money fast. Like, if you didn't sell 3 houses in the past, like, year, like,
It's not your time.
what the hell you were doing? You know what I mean? Like, what were you doing? Like, like I could have been blindfolded and deaf and a fucking cell block and sold. I was from jail. Like, you know, like
You could have been out of the country and sold out.
You really could.
yeah, because people were just going over to houses and like, I want to run an offer. You know, like it was crazy. And so I say that I think I posted a meme today. Did you see it?
Oh, the Tom Brady?
Tom Brady one.
That was
like
good.
30 agents who got their license in 2021. Like, I'm retiring for good. And you know, that's because that's how it is now. It's like, I feel like, cause I started real estate, just over 10 years ago. Well, like my 11th year. So, at that time I wasn't an agent, and that was like right after, like, there was a bunch of like short sales and like, foreclosures. So there was a bunch of agents that were in, right? And then I saw a wave of them like dip out, and investors too. Like, we were investors, a bunch of investors got out of the market, a bunch of real. So this is the second time I've seen this. So I think that people were misguided by like Instagram and TikTok, and like it's very easy. All you do is you know, I see so much motivational speaking, bro, nowadays. Like, it almost like I almost want to stop following some real estate agents because all it is like motivational speaking shit nowadays. And I'm just like, bro,
A bunch of false prophets.
and there's the one reason why people ask me like, why don't I have like classes and why don't I teach and shit? It's like, bro, because false prophet. Like, I know if I go in a room dude, fucking out of 100 of you, like 2 of you are gonna work, and the other 98 of you are not gonna do shit.
Yeah.
So I feel bad taking 10 grand from each motherfucker, and then 2 of you are successful, and the other 98 of you, I'll just collect that money and say sorry. Like, I just feel ethically bad about that. That's just me. But
I just think it comes down to
just
like
work
you
ethic,
don't
dude.
know what you don't know, right? So like new agents that just didn't know any better, they're coming into the game and maybe they're following someone on Instagram who's real flashy,
Exactly.
you know, and they kind of sold them on that whole persona dream, right? So they really don't know any better. But the other thing than that too, it's almost like golf, right? Like if you don't know anything about golf and you're seeing someone play like pretty good, you're gonna probably listen to that guy, right? So same thing like with like the real estate. Like if you see someone on Instagram and they look like they're doing like well, probably gonna listen to them, right? Even though they may not really know what they're doing,
exactly.
because like you said, you could not know what you're doing and still be somewhat successful the last
2 years, yeah. You could have been, you know, you could have been successful at like we were just talking about my swing, right? Like you could hit the ball and still be good, right? Or you still make par, but it wasn't like I scored that par like every hole. It was like I got that par because I was lucky. It was like, you know, I got that par because I actually am decent, right?
Yeah.
And like, I don't wish like anyone's downfall in anyone's business ever. Like no business downfall. Like, you know, even like my enemies, I'm just like, I hope you're doing well. Does not, you know, get out of my face. But it's like, no, seriously, you know, it's just like,
I wish you the best, but I don't want to see you.
well, yeah, it's like, dude, if you're doing good, cool. Like I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like whatever. You're my enemy. I don't really have enemies. That I know of. Like people probably talk shit for sure about me because I'm just kind of a in your face, like this is what you get type person.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure people are like, oh, whatever, fuck Nick. But I don't think that about anyone. I think that there's douchebags out there that I'm like I probably wouldn't hang out with, but I'm not like yo, like this. I hate this guy, or like I hope his business crumbles, you know, like there's no reason, whatever. So with those young people, I'm like, you're following a false prophet. So my biggest recommendation is just like find someone who can show you like a list of houses they've sold or that they've flipped.
Yeah.
Because there's guys out there who like that are like, I've done $100 million fucking dollars in sales.
Yeah, they're just fucking out of their ass.
And then you look up their license and they've sold like 3 houses and you're like, bro, like,
Yeah.
you're the blind leading the blind. Like, you're just trying to get TikTok famous. Yeah, maybe you're stylish. Maybe you have a nice car, whatever. But like, so my biggest thing is like, don't
Everything is verifiable nowadays, though. I mean, dude, if you do a little research, you can find out what someone's all about.
Okay, and again, like, you two are smart guys. Like, there's guys out there that are, you know, there's
just
guys out
doesn't
there
click.
that don't think that. Like,
It doesn't click.
they're just that doesn't click, and it's like they don't think like, oh, maybe I should like
Question.
They might just trust this person, you know.
Maybe I should question this. What's going on? You know.
With who?
Well, no, I'm just saying in general, people don't question anything. Like, I'm the type to question everything, right?
Yeah.
You know, like I want to know like the real truth, you know, because
too, and
I'm like really granular too. Like I don't like when people are like general, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you have to just do this, you know? Like a lot of like real estate coaches, they'll say, hey, you just gotta like make more contacts, right? It's like, well, what does that mean?
Exactly. No, I agree in that. It's just like, hey, you know what you could do to make your business great? Get more clients.
Pick up the phone.
Like, bro, like, what? No shit. Like, you know, like, yeah, pick up the phone. It's that type of stuff. And like, I would just say like, so me, you know, I don't think we went. This is what was on the prom, but like me, how I started, I got like super lucky, right? And so, do you want me to know the whole backstory, or are you guys just want me
I'm
to?
just gonna do like, yeah, like,
Okay, I mean, like, I had a chick. I worked in the nightclubs. She didn't really like it at the time. We're in the car. My aunt worked for her good friends. They were on the same soccer team, and my aunt was playing soccer with them on like indoor, and she hurt her little knee and like tore ACL or something. And so she was like, hey, you know, I know you work weekends at the nightclub. Like, do you want to take over my job during the weekdays since you just work nights? And like, you can work with these guys in the day and go to your normal job. And then like at the time, the chick I was dating was just like,
yeah, take that
you
shit.
should do that. Like, 'cause you're at the club.
I don't want you working at night.
These girls texting you like all the time. Like, you should probably not be at the club. And I was like, all right, fine. And it just happened like, so she's like, okay, call the guy, right? So it's Oscar. He's one of my mentors now. Like, you know, I don't talk to them very often now, but they're the ones who showed me the way.
Yeah.
I called him and like was in the car with my chick or whatever, and we're in the Bluetooth. And I was like, oh yeah, hey, like I'm calling about that job, not thinking like this fool's gonna tell me to come in tomorrow. And we're like out in Hollywood having cocktails and stuff, and I was like, what? She's like you're going, like she's looking at me over on the Bluetooth, like you're going in tomorrow. And I was like, what? Like we're out here like in Hollywood, like we're gonna go out. She's like, no, like, we're gonna go home now. So I was like, all right, fine. So end up whatever, dude. That's it. The next day I went in, they were like, you want to work? And I was like, yeah, okay. So they're like, okay, yeah, you're gonna sweep the floors, you're gonna clean everyone's desk, you answer the phones, take the trash out, like that's it. And I was like, and to me, like, dude, at 25, it's a little like I was like a little prideful, like fucking dad can tell me clean the fuck up.
Yeah.
Keep the eyes cool.
I was
Keep the eyes cool.
I was like, you know, I was a bartender,
Good
like,
tips and shit.
but
like,
you know, like I had at every job I worked at, I started sweeping the floor. Like my dad got me a job at like 15, I was sweeping the warehouse. The job I got, the nightclub, I started as a sweeper. I was sweeping the whole fucking club after the club every night. It was fucking crazy, right? Fucking this job, I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm sweeping fucking the floors.
you can sweep.
You know?
You know how to sweep.
Exactly. I'm fucking the best motherfucking Kobe Bryant sweeper you ever meet, you know? So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna do a job, do it the best you can. Just don't do it half-assed. So so I just was like, good, dude, and like just handled, and like, you know, these guys were cool. They were like a little bit older than me, but they weren't like, so I think Oscar's like was like 8 years older than me or something, and like the older brother's like 12 years older than me. So they were like cool guys in their 30s, and I'm like 25, and they're like, yo, well, like we're making fucking money, you know? But they were very like, they're not like flaunty at all, bro. Like, Juan Carlos driving like a Honda Pilot, and like Oscar driving like a Civic, you know? And like, I'm like looking at the numbers, like, damn, they're making like 20, 30 G's a flip. Like, and back then that was a lot for a flip, you know? Yeah. I'm like, damn, they're doing good. Like, you know, what the hell? But they're only 32, 35, you know, I'm 25 at that time or whatever. And so I was like, damn, these guys are doing it, you know?
It's possible.
So, yeah, well, I wasn't even thinking that. I was just like, oh, I'm just going to work for these guys, work my ass off. And so, like, it's funny. I think like, one day I caught Oscar, like I was because I was a receptionist. So I was sitting at my receptionist desk at the front door, and I was like negotiating to the death to like fucking Silicon Comfort and Edison over this bill, you know? And like, because they were just like, they would just give me stuff. I'm like, hey, get this charge off, you know? And I was just arguing or whatever, and I got it off finally, and I was like stoked. And like, I walked out of my like room, and this fool was sitting on a chair right outside. He was listening, and he was like, that was fucking good, you know? That was good. Like, you did a really good job. Like, you know, well, he's like, and then so that time after that, he was like, hey, my aunt came back, and he's like, hey, I want to make you a position. So essentially like the project manager position, like kind of how what like Gabby does now. Like, it was like, okay, hey, we have all these flips. I'm going to show you how to do it. You know, he was an engineer. So me and him like compiled like a list, like a list. And I still use it today. It's like, if you follow every single step, you can flip a house, you know? Like there's from check mark 1 to check mark like 100. If you do every step,
and you can get it right now, folks. If you click on the link button,
like on this link right here
for 99,
and that's my proprietary information. It's like
with the payments too.
Exactly, and I'll show you the form. No, exactly. EBT, everything. Just give us your gold chain.
So it's like an SOP on how to flip houses. This is a standardized operating procedure.
It is a flow chart. So it's like, hey, if this happens, boom, go. If not, go. Stop. Go back.
Yes.
Go this way. You know, so it's like, bro, it's a whole process. So we did that because we were doing so many. I was doing 14 flips at a time. So like I had to have a system. I'd be going nuts, you know? So anyways, Oscar showed me that side of the business, showed me like the flip side of the business. I learned that. And then I started like learning the financing side and wanting to learn the financing side. Like, how are we buying these? Like, oh, hard money loans? What the hell is that? You know? So Juan Carlos is like the attorney, like brother, and he was like, you know, the financing side. And Oscar was like the mechanical, like this is the construction done. Like they're both obviously super smart, both all aspects of the business. They both know every aspect of the business, but it was kind of that's how they divided themselves. Like Oscar would run the mechanical side, like the construction, the buying the houses, the flipping the houses, the selling the houses. Juan would get the financing, line up the money, and do the hard money loans side. So then they took me from this side, you know, the project manager side, and they moved me to the hard money loan side. So then I kind of became like an account executive or like a business development officer, where I was literally just going and finding investors who want to invest money, and I was finding guys who want to borrow money, you know. And at the time I was like, I think I was 28 at the time.
Are you still with that chick at the time?
No, that's the thing. Getting that job drove us apart, because that was like party lifestyle with that particular individual. We had like a party lifestyle, like we would drink and we'd party, we'd stay up late. And when I had to start being up at 6 a.m. go to work, she wanted to stay up late and still like drink and party, whatever. And I couldn't. I was like, I can't. So it started like driving a little bit of a divide into us. And so eventually we just like broke up.
Yeah.
And I got with someone new who was like very good. Like, you need to get on your shit. Like, get on your shit. Like, I'm 28. Like, you should have already a house. I was like, what? Like, you know, like, you know, like, slow down. Chill.
You got a house?
Yeah, exactly, right? Chill. No, but it was just like push, but it needed that, like at that time, it was like good to have that push. And so then it was, so then I went to that side of the business, and it was good. Like but I was young, dude. I was like 28. Like, it's hard for me to go to these golf events. And like, I didn't have like the beard as I do now, but it was like more baby face. And like, what am I supposed to do? Go like, you want to invest like $1 million? And they're like, yeah, fucking sure, kid. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, whatever. And so,
and in my 7-iron.
Exactly. So it was a little difficult. Like, it was a little like nowadays I can confidently go up to any restaurant owner, anybody, financial advisor, and be like, yo, we got a product where you can make this amount of money, whatever. And they're gonna keep taking me seriously, because now I have the established, right,
track record.
But back then, it was just like, dude, so it was so hard. I was like having trouble finding investors, and I was doing some hard money loans, but it was just like, I wasn't like killing it, and the market had slowed down again. I'll tell you guys, that's when the market had like slowed down. People weren't doing a lot of investments and stuff. So that's where we were supposed to launch a real estate company. And at that time, at 28, 29, some of my friends were starting to look into buying houses. They'd been at their job. They went to college. They had a job for like 5-6 years, saved some money, and we're starting to get ready to buy houses. So I told my mentors, like, hey, let's launch this real estate company. They had already planned on doing it. And then they just were like, you know what? They were making so much money out their rentals and their flips. They were just like, they don't need us. It's too much liability. Like, we don't need to do a real estate company.
They were satisfied.
They were satisfied, which is understood, you know, like they were developers before they crashed.
Yeah.
They
already made it.
Well, they had like, you know, went through a downfall. Like, they didn't need to like experience another one, like risking stuff. Right. So when they got to a point where they didn't need to risk it, they just living their lives now. They're doing fucking, you know, chilling. And so I was like, dude, but I got to do something. Like, I'm still young. And so I was on Craigslist one day, and I fucking found JP.
At all Craigslist.
The seller on Craigslist.
No way.
Dude, I found one of my jobs on Craigslist before too.
Yes.
A startup.
Well, so like he had put a post on there. It was just like looking for, you know, and I did marketing for my other company. So I was like, dude.
Freaking gig post.
And it was like, and it was just like, yo, I need an agent, licensed agent who wants to do in-house marketing. And so I was like, perfect. Like, I'm like, I wasn't a new agent. I had my license for 2 years, but I'd never sold like a fucking house. Like, I just had it so I can sell hard money loans.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, shit. So I called him, and I was like, look, I come from like, dude, I remember, bro, like, I went to an office like, you know, did you ever go to his first office? I don't think it's something like this. You
off
know?
of Badillo?
Grand. No, I'm Grand.
Grand. No,
so it was an office like this, like a small little office. Bro, there was like file cabinets fucking everywhere. There was like papers on the floor. Like, I was like, showed up to the interview like in a suit, bro. And I was like, JP was like with a weed hat on. And I was like, and dude, I'm telling you, the investment firm I worked for was pretty professional, like collar shirt, like dress shoes. Like, I showed up there, and JP's wearing like fucking Nikes and a hub hat. Yeah, and I'm just
Cortez's.
I'm just like, bro, I'm way overqualified for this shit. What the fuck is this? You know, like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know, I swear to God, I was like, what am I doing here? Like, I'm like beyond this, you know. But then, like, you know, I was like, JP was pretty cool. He was just like, yo, like, yeah, I'll show you like the whole real estate side. Like, you bring the investment side in, like you teach me that. Him and his mom were doing some stuff. Like his mom been, experienced for years, but I would say it was
Bro,
more like,
you see that broom right there?
no, I would say that they, I would say that they were cool. They were doing their thing already, they were doing their thing already, but I was like, let me see if I can refine that.
You're like, fuck that.
So anyways, like, we helped build the brand over there, with marketing expertise. And we started doing, business together. And then like, we eventually,
Split up, parted ways.
we just decided to part ways, just like any
Kind of just outgrow each other.
sometimes, yeah, you outgrow each other or whatever.
Yeah.
You have different like he wanted to focus on growing the real estate company more, like the loan company, and like I wanted to. After I learned the real estate side, I was like,
Fuck this.
fuck, man, open houses are a bitch. Like showing houses are fucked. Like I gotta just flip my house and make like quadruple all of that. Like,
Sweating out tequila on Saturday morning, setting up your signs.
bro, you don't even know how bad. I've had some bad open houses where I was just like dead on the pond. Shades on. Exactly. Dude. Some bad open house stories, but you can't play in the big leagues hungover. You can't play in the big leagues.
That's right.
So anyways.
What job did you get on Craigslist?
Car truckers.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so it was like, think of it like a CarMax on wheels. Like they buy cars, right, and sell them, but they're a wholesaler. But like we go to you, so like you would go to somebody's household, a lead. You go do an inspection on their car, and then you make them an offer, and then you buy.
It's like Carvana in the early years or something.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's crazy.
I mean, they're still around, but
I have one Craigslist story that it's a little side note, bro.
Yo, don't you want to hear about it?
Oh yeah, no. So basically, it was to prove a point, right? Because actually, I used to go on Craigslist and I found some people. I found some people to like do like some marketing stuff for me when I first started like learning about marketing.
Yeah.
And so my friend was working at a golf course and he was a card guy.
Yeah.
And this guy's a great coach. Like, I mean, he knew everything. And he would, on the range, he would kill the ball, right? And he would ask me, like, dude, like, what do you think, get more clients? And I said, post a ad on Craigslist. It's $5 ad. Like, what could you lose? Say you give golf lessons, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't want to do it, right? And I'm like, what? $5? Like, what's the risk? So I said, you know what, dude? I said, I'm going to do it. I said, I'm going to post an ad on Craigslist, $5 ad. And I'm gonna put I'm a golf coach, and I played college golf and whatever.
So you started getting gigs,
dude. So, like within a couple of days, I put the ad up, and I just put like, hey, I was a college golfer, and my ad was pretty creative. I said I spent thousands of dollars on golf lessons over my career, So I learned from some great coaches. So I can help you out, amateur or whatever. So. The next like 2 days, three guys called me from Irvine. They're like foreign students from out of UC Irvine, and they're like, "Dude, we want to learn how to play golf." They had the accent and everything. I said, "Dude, met at a range in Irvine. I charged them each $60, $180, and I texted my friend. I said, "See, not even boy, that's cool. Not even a golf coach."
that's 21-year-old Jeff or what?
Dude, so Craigslist is not bad. I mean, you can.
I'm
sure it's sketchy.
I haven't dabbled in it in forever.
Yeah, me neither.
But back then, this is like. Fuck, 7 years ago, where like even Instagram isn't what it is now. Like and then there's no TikTok. Like it wasn't like,
and it was Vine.
Facebook was bigger. Vine was like for like teenagers though. It wasn't like
Vine was like TikTok,
but you couldn't advertise on Vine. There were 15-second videos, so it was like,
dude, like 6-second videos.
Yeah, they were tiny. So like I remember Vine, but like Facebook was like the main thing, and then like Instagram took over like 2012, 13. That's when it started, and then like it started like I remember like, dude, I had Facebook, I had Instagram, and like no one knew what it was. I was like, get Instagram. They're like, what is that? Yeah, and I was just like, because one of my friends got it like super early, like an early adopter, and they got it, and they told me to get it. And so that's when I was like, oh, dude, I'm gonna start promoting the club stuff this way, and like hashtags like were coming out, and I was like, dude, hashtag club promoter. Like, dude, I made contacts all over the world. Because of my club promoting hashtag. I still talk to some of these people like in Europe from like my club promoting days of using hashtags. It's crazy. So I just obviously transferred that over to like real estate, but I don't know. It's kind of crazy that that's where we're at now instead of Craigslist.
Yeah. No, I think every app
Craigslist
has its time.
A little sketchy now. I don't know, but
dude, every app has its time. I was introduced to Instagram in 2012 as a junior in high school, and somebody said, oh, get Instagram. I'm like, oh, what is it? Oh, it's a photo editing app.
Well,
Like,
bro, that's
photo
all. We
editing.
kept in contact
Yeah.
because we
2016.
Dude, we met through like a dude that I was going to college with. So after I had started Ascend and like my businesses, I was like, it's probably a good idea to go back to college, like to finish my degree so that like people think I'm real, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was going to school with the dude Zach, and then Zach worked with you or something at Costco.
I worked with him at Costco. Yeah.
Yeah.
That?
No, this is
So this dude was like, and then like it was like, and I was already out of like me and Zach weren't even in the same class yet, but we like became kind of cool after our course.
Yeah.
Because we did a huge report on Ballast Point for our business class, and then so he was like, hey, it's IPA day, let's go to Ballast Point.
IPA day.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, so like, remember that's the reason why he was able to make me drive way the fuck to Long Beach. I never drove over there, and I remember like I was actually flipping houses already that time, so I drove all the way out there, and then you rolled up with like
Dude,
people.
I was there with my homegirl Carissa. It was May 2016. I had just turned 21 like 2 weeks prior. So I'm like, I'm down to go wherever. Like, fuck it.
Yeah, I know you're that.
And like her and I were like the only two in our friend group who were of age. Like the rest of our friends were still 20. Yeah, so we're like, fuck this, let's go.
Yeah, so they came out, and then I was just like, you know, we were just like someone tagged or something, and we were just like, oh, like let's follow each other, and then I probably didn't see you for like a year.
2 years.
Yeah, I didn't see you probably for like a year or two, and like, but we was just some dude that like was in my feed or whatever. I just saw him, and then he like hit me up one time. Like, you took the courage to hit me up. I'm like, what do you think about this? Because I was posting real estate videos already, so he hit me up with some real estate video, and I was like,
Shitty
come to the
video.
office, bro. Like,
Come through.
well, I was like, well, because us like. Yeah, I'm not that much older than you guys, but you guys are like on, I think, well, you're more like a different generation, but you're like on the border.
Yeah.
So like you're between like where I'm decently technologically savvy, like way more than my parents, but like you guys are way more like more technologically savvy than me. So you had that, whatever, I think that video or something, and I was like, dude, and I was the marketing guy I told you for like Christmas. So I was like, oh, just come in. Like, we need to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, can you do this stuff? And I was like, JP, just hire this fool, So
I don't know what the fuck I was doing, bro.
he's trying. He had like the fake resume. He looked at this like, you're hired, bro. But then you saw us over there, like we also.
Yeah, you guys were also figuring it out too.
Yeah, so it's kind of just like, that's what, it's like, let's all grow together. Like, dude, Brandon, Brandon showed up to like the first like house I ever. Like, just some regular camera, bro. Like, I was just like, and it's funny how Brandon got hired. Like, and I bring up Brandon because you're both photographers. I like to use now, and you guys are both like blown up, which I love. And it's like, but I saw at the beginning, and Brandon was even when I was at the beginning, like I was doing my first flips and stuff, and like I hired like one of my homies to do pictures of a flip I did in Compton, and my homie
On his phone?
No, bro, this fool brought a legit camera, and then he like tried to Photoshop, bro, like the windows out, bro. And there's bars on the way. There's certain that you can't Photoshop out. It's illegal.
Yeah.
And this fool put like a fucking grassy knoll in the background. I was like, bro, there is a building next door. You can't make it look like there's a fucking park next door. And so my mentor at the time, I was still working there, and he was like, fire that guy and like hire somebody new. Man, and so I had to fire my homie. I was like, yeah, I'm not paying you for those photos. Like, and you're not hired. Like, this is trash. And so I think Brandon got referred to us. Oh, I called this one lady had like decent pictures on her listing, and I called her and I was like, hey, like, who did your photos? Like, I have a listing near you. Like, can you hook me up? And she like hooked me up with Brandon, who was just like a one camera dude, like none of like the stuff you guys have now, these cameras, all this equipment you guys have now, dude. Like, that's how he was not like that. And then I just saw him grow. Like, oh, all of a sudden now he's bringing flashes to my like stuff, and now I'm seeing edits, and I'm like, oh shit, like, dude, Brandon's stepping it up. And then so like now now he's where he's at, you're where you're at, but it's like because you guys wanted to be the Kobe of your business, you didn't want to just be like showing up with a camera, but it's like reinvesting into your business, buying the equipment. Come back.
Guess who came up, man?
It's fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, our first.
We help him. I think it's cool. Me and Brandon help each other out from time to time. Like,
yeah, that's why it's like I called him. Like, like I try to like get you both in. I'm like, I'm trying to feed everybody. Not like I'm like fucking Messiah that's feeding everybody. Knows I want to use both of you guys. You know, like
the water,
turn. It's your turn. No, it's just like, hey, where's available? Like he told me, he was like, bro, I'm gonna be in Miami. Like hit up Jono.
Yeah.
And I hit you up. You're like, I'm gone. So I was like,
Slammed.
And then he already told me, he's like, if Jono can't make it, like Karen go take photos. So that worked out for me. You know?
Yeah.
But it's like I gotta have one of these fools available for me. You know, which I got you on the next ones. I was trying to put the request in, but
Do it. Let's do it now.
Baldy one. The Mount Baldy one though. So that one's gonna be like a fun one.
This guy's booked.
Yeah, sick listing coming up next
Oh,
week.
shit.
They want to go next week, but it's like, they want to do it next week, but it's like,
This guy's booked out 2 months in advance right now.
I know. I'm like, Gammy, get your man to pull us a favor. What's good? Like, she's like, nope,
We'll make it work. We'll make
it's
it.
his business, and I'm like, I respect that, fine, but let's go. Come on.
We'll make it work. I got some strings I could pull.
Yeah, you know, if you can make it work. But Mount Baldy would be a dope shoot for your portfolio because it's like there's nature, there's sick views,
Yeah.
there's like the Mount Baldy Lodge. You can even just put some of those photos like in your stock like portfolio.
Yeah.
Hey, get this fool to make a video too. I want to see a video.
Of what?
A walkthrough.
A walk.
Oh, on camera.
Yeah.
He can drive out there. You didn't see me the lockbox going.
I'll be there. It's a good friend of mine, but it's like,
down the black.
'cause I gotta show you, bro. I gotta show you. You're not gonna have service up there, so it's like I gotta show you around. It's a dope house, dude. It's called Bear Canyon, and there's a creek that rolls down one side of the hill.
What's the city?
It's Mount Baldy.
Mount Baldy. That's a city. Fuck, I've never been up.
You never been up there?
I mean, I've been around Cucamonga.
So I threw
A
it.
drone.
No, but I mean, I grew up, like I said, I grew up between Upland and like LA. And so when we were at Upland in high school, we had nothing to do. We'd drive them to the mountain and you drive it. It's a mining town, dude. You go up,
Yeah.
there's hiking trails.
Yeah.
I mean, there's hiking trails, there's waterfalls. Dude, it's like you're in the mountains.
Yeah.
And it's 15 minutes from
Fucking
freeway.
love mountains too.
Dude, you get off the 210 freeway and you're up in the mountains in 15 minutes.
right now.
Yeah, there you go. I just need to figure out what's,
Are they ready to go or not?
Yeah. She talked to me again today, and she was like, "We're ready." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm putting money down for this, so make sure we're ready to go."
What about Friday?
Next Friday?
This guy's booking.
Maybe.
Friday the 10th.
Wednesday, she said. She said Wednesday.
He's like, all right.
I could do Wednesday. It's just that I got to be in Long Beach till about 1:30, 2. And then,
Tough for you to go from Long Beach to the mountains.
yeah, I know.
How about Tuesday? Because she was like, "We're ready."
Damn. You know, we could probably do, we're booking an appointment on a podcast.
All right,
We could probably do Monday if Jeff's sister's down to push her podcast back to Friday or something.
John was probably like, all right, Nick, we're recording Mile 5.
We'll bleep it out. We'll bleep it out as you,
Yeah. No, but yeah. Anyways, that's cool though that we can do business between each other now. And like I hope, eventually we can do something more. More.
We got till July, right?
What is it called? A little more solidified than just.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. You get the next flip, bring it my way.
Yeah.
You want to open an office? Let me know.
Switch that sign out.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
It might get you a little, bigger spot. Because that's what you do. And EXP ain't paying that shit.
Damn.
Sorry, EXP.
Hey, we might consider it though. We might.
Leave that out.
Our lease is set to renew next month, so we're weighing out our options right now, seeing what's up.
Waiting it out,
I'm
man.
gonna say wait out because if you're spending 20 minutes to get to the freeway,
Yeah.
each way, that's 40 minutes of your day that you're losing. And even if you had to drive,
I'll show the carpool at you.
that's a theory, bro. That's a theory. I don't know if you ever heard that.
We live 5 minutes away, so I mean, different.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
good because it's close to your house.
Yeah.
So because at the end of the day, when you probably need to edit your stuff, you're here, then boom, you're home in 5 minutes. And same with you, you got to come home, write a contract, you're home in 5 minutes. So that makes sense. Then,
Like in 2 minutes.
but what happens if you have an appointment in LA, and then you got to shoot to the office, write an offer, and then shoot to a dinner in Pasadena?
What I would do,
You're 25 minutes off the freeway back here, and then you're 25 minutes back to the freeway to go back to
You
Pasadena.
got a virtual assistant.
here's what I do. I'll wake up really early. I'll go to our free Regis membership that's provided by EXP, and then go pull up to Regis, get some coffee. Free.
You ever heard of WeWork? Hey.
I heard of it.
Hey, if we don't renew here, I'm looking at WeWork possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, WeWork's cool. I mean, no comment. We've been negotiating with them recently.
It's a cool concept though. I mean, like,
Well,
You need to be right above Piaggi. That's where you need to be.
that's a sick spot. Have you been up there? I know the guy that has the office up there. It's pretty tight. He's like, I think they have like autonomous buses in like New York or something.
No way.
Yeah, so
That's where you need to be.
pretty cool. I'm not an engineer, but
I got to buy a commercial building. I need to find a realtor.
Yeah, bottom one. Damn.
that's funny.
That's the
No,
thing.
dude, yeah, get a commercial building, dude. Buy a commercial building like this, rent out 5 of the units, then you have a couple for yourself. That's what we're doing. You know, we bought the building, Eagle Rock. The front's gonna be salon suites that I'm gonna charge hopefully about 20. I'm gonna say on average, I think I get 2,000 for each one. There's 6 of them.
Tell him your goal.
grand.
Tell him your goal. What you want.
My goal? I can't tell the podcast my goal. No, it's all right.
Why? Your goals are
All right, bro, my building.
This guy's he's a coffee connoisseur, dude. This guy knows every coffee known to man.
right. Coffee.
All right,
yeah.
building. Check it out.
Where's Coffee with John?
Walk into the building. All right, you walk in, and it's a coffee shop. It's fucking badass, right? Like there's fucking seating everywhere. Seating here. This is the coffee shop of my dreams when I was in college.
The lights are dim.
When I was going to school.
Lights.
Yeah, lights, phone booths in the back.
It's a vibe.
You have outlets everywhere. Shit's rocking, playing some cool ass music, baristas, everything's cracking. You look all the way to the back in the glass door, and there's a big ass Flux Media neon sign, right? Mm-hmm. And you see people walking in and out behind there. It's like, what the fuck's going on back there? What's going on? Behind those doors is a big ass warehouse where there's 4 studios. You have a podcast studio, you have a photo shoot studio, you have a fucking YouTube room, you have a fake house, whatever. And
A couch.
You got editors off to the side. You got a couple transit vans at the back. Those are the 2 vans that are going out to service the houses. And you just got this big ass warehouse of people who are fucking vibing and making content. So Big Nick, when Nick wants to do content for every single month, okay, you got the first Wednesday of the month. You come in the first Wednesday of every single month. We shoot all your videos. We're already scripted for you when you show up. You shoot them. You spend an hour with us. We say, okay, thanks, Nick. Appreciate you. You be on your way. We'll get you these videos in a 1 week's time. Get a coffee on your way out for your charge. So you're on a subscription basis.
Yeah.
Getting content.
That's
All you
the
have to do
thing
is
nowadays,
show up.
Subscription basis now.
Yeah.
Because even if you have me for every Wednesday, who knows when I'm going to show up that Wednesday?
Yeah.
And it's already paid for to you, so you don't care.
Probably
to
show up once a
subscribe.
month.
Yeah, you miss it.
You probably show
You don't show up, that's on you.
I'm way too fucking busy.
But you see, hey,
Man, that's why I need.
You left out, bro. The OF studio. Where's the OF studio?
that's behind the other glass door.
In the back.
What is that? The black couch?
OnlyFans.
One with the black couch.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? It's just this place where people want to fucking hang out and be kind of like a WeWork type, but there's more to it.
For creatives.
There's a studio in the back. Yeah, there's creatives. You're on a retainer. Everybody's on a retainer. And
So you need like you. So were you guys?
so I need capital.
No. Well, you probably need to be more near where there's a lot more creatives. Northeast LA. See.
Northeast LA, Long
In the
Beach.
back of our warehouse in the meantime, you know.
Long
What
Beach.
you gotta do, bro, is take those 2 chains and go get your down payment right now. On it.
Lock the door.
All right. Dude,
No, but
I'll find you a lot of there's like a lot of the studios are moving like the arts district.
Yeah.
You know, so like arts district wouldn't be a bad area. There's Lincoln Heights. Lincoln Heights is like still fucked up.
just live there.
Yeah.
You can find some fucked
Hey,
up.
don't say that. I was in Lincoln Heights this past weekend, dog. My family lives there. Don't talk about it. I'm just kidding.
I love
No,
Lincoln.
but still,
I would just live there too.
I really do think Lincoln Heights is going to start to get nicer and nicer.
Dude, so even in Lincoln Heights, I don't know if you've seen them. Like one of our guys who does, he's an engineer or he's an attorney actually, but he does the expediters. So they go to the city for us.
Yeah.
He has like it's dope. It's like downstairs is a kitchen, living room, everything. I know this because we had to go get plans from his house one time. Like me and Gabby like broke into his house. He gave us like the combo lock. We went there and I was looking around. I was like, this is cool. Like the bottom floor was a kitchen, like warehouse style roofs, and then a spiral staircase went upstairs, and it was like a loft for like it was his office.
Yeah.
And then behind that was like his bed area. like where he lit, like where he
just
slept.
fucking cool.
Dude, it was dope. And I was like, dude, this is tight. It's right by where they used to have the Ab 26 tacos, like right on the border of Lincoln Heights and like Highland Park and Garvanza, like a little area off the 110. Like, dude, so that area, I mean, there's still shitholes, especially commercial buildings, little tortilla shops.
Dude, I think it's gonna come up. I feel like it started at Highland Park, right? And it's coming down to like El Sereno's, getting nicer now. Lincoln,
like in
Lincoln Heights
Park, Silver Lake.
Yeah.
Because I lived in Hollywood for a while, and when I would go to the bars in Silver Lake, it was still like cholo, you know?
Yeah.
Still like, and then I went there probably like 3 years later, and you had to have like the fucking dumbass like mustache and the beard. Make sure you got a fucking IPA. And I was like, what the fuck is this? What happened to the cholos drinking the Budweiser? Now these fools are drinking IPAs over here. What the fuck?
More of a reason why Lincoln Heights is gonna turn into something nice too is because the fucking USC Medical Center, dude.
Tech,
and
it's right
people,
there.
everybody's gonna start going over there.
That's
Like,
north. So yeah, so I like, that's like one area, you know, that I don't tell like a lot of people. I've told a couple guys who look for deals for me, like, hey, if you find anything like that area, Lincoln Heights, between Lincoln Heights, El Sereno, like Rose Hills, like that little like last frontier, because Highland Park, Eagle Rock, Atwater Village, Cypress Park can still even be turned a little bit, but like Lasso Park, like those areas, they're still like, you know, they're turning already. And what I like when we drive around, I'm always just like, dude, there's enough houses in this area, there's enough business like properties in this area for me to like make my career for my rest of my life. Like I don't need to go anywhere else. I don't need to. People are like, why don't you go to state and invest? I'm like, bro, like I can drive 5 minutes down the freeway and there's enough property here for me to like make a career out of, you know? So if you're serious about that concept, I think that, you know, that's north of the Arts District. There's a lot of creatives moving there. We're just talking about people from the film industry moving out that way. I think it would be...
No, you bring up a good point too. I mean, that I think you'll probably see like a rise in... freaking, what do you call it? I don't want to say equity, but like, you know, property values in that area
like,
too.
I mean, it's just, that's why I bought that, like, that's why I bought that building on Eagle Rock in Colorado Boulevard. Cause it was just like, dude, it's
on the come up.
Well, it's just like, okay, there's that quote, like, you know, buy real estate, they're not making it anymore. So once you're out. Like once the guys buy, I wish I was buying Colorado Boulevard, like Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena, Old Town Pasadena. I was just buying that like 20 years ago. Buildings were going for like $4 million. You know, you think like, damn, that's high. Dude, those things are selling for like $15 million now. You're like, what the fuck? And they're not even just like, and they're just guys who, they're just like funds, and they're just people that have cash, so they just need to park it, and they're just like, I'm gonna buy this building, it's gonna be worth $30 million in 10 years. Like, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not on that scale, so let me go into Eagle Rock and buy all of Colorado Eagle Rock, because the buildings are smaller, they're shittier, no one's kind of been taking over that area yet, and they're pretty strict. So, you know, it's like, let's take over that area, let's make that our area.
How's that coming along, that office?
Okay, well,
Where do you want to start?
so to the good people out there, so we submitted plans, and so there's two properties. One's got the gas station, service station, which is a big deal. It's probably a whole podcast in itself. So I won't really touch on that. But so that property has
Historic landmark.
It's potential historic landmark. We have a hearing in like next week, 2 weeks. You know, and so whatever, we're still going to be able to move it. The city already told us we're going to be able to move it. We just got to make a plan to where to move it to. And then I'm going to make that a parking lot. We're going to have a Sunday like flea market there. It's going to be tight, you know, for the community members to bring their stuff, sell, make fucking knitted mittens, whatever, they can fucking come sell them there. You know, I don't care. I just want the people to be happy in the neighborhood, right? And next to it is our building, right? And it was an old plumbing shop. We're going to put, the front's going to be salon suites. It's going to support the mortgage, more than half of what the mortgage would be. The mortgage would probably be like 15 grand. I'm going to make 12 grand off of those salon suites. And then the back we'll rent to like our headquarters. The thing is we're in California, and I'm not like by any means, I would say I'm kind of just in the middle. I'm like I'm an independent. I feel I'm not like a Democrat, Republican, or whatever. But and sometimes I feel like the city is got too much red tape in regards to letting developers develop. right? It's like, dude, we're like, you know, when we go to get a framing, we do our framing, right? There's an inspection where the guy comes out and makes sure the nails are like hidden right. Like, bro, like, this is a framed building. Like, you ever been to Mexico? Like, go check the houses out down there. Like, one nail, it's like kind of crooked. It's not going to make this whole house fall down, you know? Whatever. That's like an extreme example, right? But
Yeah.
there's so many inspections. There's so many engineers that have to run through. And then, mind you, these people work for the city, right? And once you're in with the city, it's not like it's pretty probably hard to get fired. You know, it's not like you're just like not showing up to get fired and stuff, right? So it's always this private sector versus the public sector, right? Like the private sector is the guys that can, you know, they can pay a little bit more, so they're getting the more. I shouldn't say this, you know, but they're getting paid, like they're getting high quality people here in the private sector versus the public sector, which it's people who are smart, but they're just, I think, a little bit more comfortable in their job than people who are in the private sector, right? Because the city's got a budget. They're always going to pay you. Private sector is based off profit. So if this company's not making money, they can let you go, right? So I feel like the city people are a little bit more comfortable. So when it comes to working with the city, we have a group of people who are like coming at the city like, hey, we're hungry. Like, get us our
Trying to
plans,
make things happen.
Get us our plans. We're based off profitability. Where the city's like, okay, cool, yeah, like the DMV kind of thing. You know, like, we'll get to it. Don't worry. Like, we'll get to it. But you're like, no, but like, get to it today. You know, like, get to it now. And I understand there's probably some shortfalls in budgets and like people like that they don't have enough money to pay enough people to review plans and things like that. But just to let you know, like, we're getting plans approved in 4 months before COVID, and now we're at like 14 months on some projects. So when people ask me if I think working from home is efficient, what do you think?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. We got a 10-month difference in plan being approved? No way. So anyways, to get to your question, how's the building going? We kind of went ahead and started, we submitted the plans, we added corrections, which means, here, fix this. Second set of corrections, to where our plans are pretty much approved. We just have to wait for a couple write-offs saying like, you know, we had to have essentially technicality things. Like, so the plans are essentially approved. The walls are approved here, the wall approved here, plumbing plans approved, whatever. So we started working on that in advance of the permits getting issued.
Yeah.
And so then, yeah, because our property is kind of under scrutiny, someone narked us out. The city came by, checked it out, and they told us like, hey, stop working, you know. So we did a little bit of framing, we did a little bit of the sewage. We had to peep around to see where the sewer line was running. So we had to break some concrete. So the sewer line's exposed. So we just have to stop working now until we actually get the permits, which is going to probably be hopefully like in another month or two. So we're going to be not into our own office. We were hoping to be by like December. Now we're probably pushed back to like June, 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the red tape that we're dealing with. And, you know, it's just housing is crazy in LA. It's like, and the red tape's crazy. It's to build a 1 unit in LA for a developer going, you know, like say the city to build a 1 unit in LA, it's like $800,000.
Yeah.
If a developer who did it for a profit it would be like $200,000. But because of all the red tape that goes into like housing and tax credits and all this stuff that's government involved, it just slows down the processes a lot. So there's nothing you can do about it. We choose the market that we're like working in, so we have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Follow the rules. So we're kind of stuck on where we can move forward.
On the topic of like red tape and housing development and stuff, what do you think of that new development of Costco in Baldwin Hills? Have you seen
Is that the one that's going to have like the living quarters above it?
Yeah, so in Costco and then a bunch of living quarters above.
Great, right? What, do you have a huge Costco warehouse? They're all over the freaking SoCal. Why not let Costco, one of the most profitable companies, build housing above it? Like,
So with the gas station now, they got a gas
it's
station?
not like that. It's not like it's going to be environmentally detrimental.
Yeah.
There's already a warehouse there. Just let them build up and like put housing. And, you know, we're trying to save the house. We're trying to out housing to the market. Like we're trying to add, we're building units, but the city sometimes makes it so hard to do that you're like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. It's like there's a deficit in housing, obviously, but they're also not helping the cause of making it more difficult for developers to even build.
Exactly. And I mean, it's like most developers and real estate people like had their fingers crossed that, Rick Caruso would win as mayor. And again, like I disclosed earlier, I'm not like on either one side of the party. Because people were saying, he's Republican, he's not really a Democrat.
Yeah.
And then Karen Bass is a real Democrat. But I do think that he had some good ideas in regards to like removing some of the red tape because he was a developer himself. Yeah. And if the biggest issue we're facing right now, like housing crisis, like
I agree. I mean, I heard
that guy.
Didn't he build the Grove?
Like,
right? He built the Grove.
the Americana.
Yeah, like he did.
Yeah. So, two of the biggest developments in LA, like two of them were successful.
You know how much, like commerce that brings to like the cities, like how much probably in taxes that generates like the Americana for Glendale, like dude, that's such a positive for Glendale. Glendale just, I don't know if you saw, got voted top 5 cities in like the U.S.
So what?
Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
Glendale, West Covina, and El Monte were like,
Dude, you ever drive?
El Monte?
I was like, hey,
dude, downtown Glendale, you ever drove down there? Clean as hell, dude. Nothing like any of the surrounding cities. Super clean. It's pretty dope. So it makes sense.
More conservative.
I mean, the Armenians are they lean that way too. So like, I'm sure their voting power.
I mean, it's not like Eagle Rock, Eagle Rock.
Eagle Rock's all right. Eagle Rock's actually one of the parts of Los Angeles. It's, I'd say, pretty conservative because it's like old money. It's like old.
Yeah.
It's the old folks that are living there for generations that are still living there that are very like conservative. I mean, there's recall Kevin DeLeon signs all over the place, and he's super Democrat, So like, they have signs everywhere, and almost like I'd drive around. I mean, I live there now, and so it's funny because like, dude, I don't like to dabble in politics, but obviously there's things that benefit me, right? That benefit my business. I don't know if you so much. There's probably some laws that affect you, like a drone. I think there was a thing in the ballot about drones recently.
Really?
Yeah.
For the city?
Like not being able to fly drones in a certain area and stuff. Yeah, like
there's definitely limitations on a federal regulation level, but I mean, if the city got involved, that kind of makes things even more difficult,
What was that? Imagine if like you shoot drone footage in LA a lot, and they're just like no drones. Like, well, who are you gonna? Like, one mayor saying no drones, the other one saying like, let there be drones. Like, what are you gonna?
Who are you voting for? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of, that's the situation I'm in. It's not like,
I'll tell.
What's up with you, Jeff? Where you going from here?
Wasabi.
Shout out Big J. We're gonna hit a zombie now. You want to go? But
I'm going to the gym. I'm gonna go hit these weights.
Jim's Burger.
Go get it. I didn't get it.
Protein. Jim's Burgers. Anyways, I mean, is there anything else we could touch on? We touched on a lot.
We touched on a lot. You've been the longest episode so far, but it's been a good one. This has been the most casual
conversation, bro. We've gone all over the place. So I don't know. I mean, it's not very organized, but if people want to like sit here and watch it, I think.
No, I mean, yeah. People probably won't watch the whole thing, but they'll listen in. I mean, if
they'll watch the whole thing, bro. It's
this shit on Spotify, bro.
Isn't it weird?
It's gonna be on Spotify.
Nice. I'm listening to this.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be on Spotify, Apple.
This is episode 4. This is episode 4.
4. Okay. Episode 4.
Is it on Spotify, all of them?
Not yet.
No, not yet. Me and Jeff
I was trying to
make a game plan. We're gonna make a game plan. We're gonna be 5 episodes ahead of the game, so
thinking of a master plan,
so as not to fall behind. But
anyways, you guys need any recommendations of people that you want on here? Let me know.
We might need some recommendations eventually.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of I'm kind of doing the thing with Brandon a little bit, the podcast.
Yeah.
We're not sure. Like, I didn't want to like commit to being like the host of his podcast, but like we've done 2. I did one with Ange, now I did one with you. We'll bring you on, and you and Brandon should be on his podcast. You know what I mean?
Debate. Yeah.
I want to see the debate. Who has the better equipment?
They probably have
the same
stuff, bro. Yeah, it's like they probably have the same. These shows are probably tight.
What is something that you could argue about, like in photography? Like,
You really can't argue because art is subjective. It's all subjective. Like, oh, I think this looks better. I think this looks better. Okay, well, you're right and I'm right. Like, there's no winning.
Also, comparing who's better. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Because you started, but you started with Canon, right? Canon.
I did, yeah. I started with Canon and Panasonic, and now I'm on Sony primarily, and then I got one Panasonic, but
You're all Sony'd out.
that's supposed to stay in the studio, so we need to get another Sony for the podcast. Well, all right, guys, that should do it here today. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Real Moves Podcast Episode 4 with Mr. Nick Wing of Work Realty, Ascend, Paradigm, Funding Vault. And I think that's it.
King of the 210.
There's a way to say that, right?
Foothills.
The 210, the Foothill King.
See you guys on the next episode. Be sure to like and subscribe down below. Peace.